Welcome to day 87. I've been thinking a lot. I do that and I take a lot of action. I know for a fact if I want to be successful, I have to take massive action. There are two things that we have to do in order to be successful. We got to have great habits and we got to have and understand the law of compounding. If we want to be successful, we got to understand the law of compounding. On the internet, there's a lot of, on YouTube and on the internet, there's a lot of discussion about the law of compounding. Let's talk about it, great habits for a second. A habit is something that is automatic, that happens without thought. It's something like if you smoke cigarettes, have you ever found yourself with a cigarette in your mouth and you didn't realize that you put it there? It was just kind of automatic. You put the cigarette in your mouth and you even lit it without even thinking about it. Maybe as you're driving down the highway in your car, you reach into the console, you put a cigarette in your mouth, you light it, and then all of a sudden you realize, well, number one, how did I get to where I am right now? Because you're on your way home and you drive so much, it's just kind of a habit. But it all started with a great routine. Great habits come from great routines. So as long as we have a routine, eventually that can become a habit. Gary Keller, in his book, The One Thing, he talks about how we're supposed to take our little bit of self-discipline and use that little bit of self-discipline that we get every day to develop great routines which can work into being great habits. Now, a lot of us don't read, and I'm going to really encourage us to read books. To read books, one of my favorite kind of book is an autobiography. Reading a book by someone that has been successful, that has documented their success. Now, to me, once again, success is achieving a worthwhile goal. So whatever your goals are, once you achieve those, you're successful in achieving those worthwhile goals. But we want to have a lot of success in our life. We want to have a lot of goals in our life. We want to achieve a lot of those goals in order to be successful. So, what kind of goals do you have right now? Do you have a goal to read a book once a week? A complete book. A book, 100 to 200 to 300 pages. My favorite kind of book is an autobiography. And one of the greatest books that I've read a lot of books, well over 800 books. And the way I know that is I have a record. And I want to deviate for just a second and talk about measuring. What we measure can get improved. And if we're not measuring what we're doing, then it's hard for us to know if we're moving in the right direction. So I know how many times I've read The Purpose-Driven Life, for instance, because at the very beginning of the book, I read the same book over and over and over. Now I think I've read it 114 times. I know when I get the book open and I see it written down. The shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. So writing things down, measuring things is extremely important. I did 40 push-ups today. I took a roll of toilet paper. Have you noticed the toilet paper, they're getting narrower? It used to be about like this, and now they've dropped it down. You get less paper, but it does all the work you need it to do. But you get less paper and they still charge you as much, if not more. But anyway, I used to do push-ups and I used a roll of toilet paper, and it was about yay tall. Well, they changed it and it went down about a half an inch, maybe even an inch in the height. And when that happened, my body had not adjusted and push-ups got harder, and all of a sudden I decided to quit using the toilet paper as a stopping point. And I just came down as far as I wanted and I stopped. Well, about 2 weeks ago, I decided to start using the roll of toilet paper again because I want to get more muscle mass in my shoulders and in my back. And I needed to go a fuller depth on my push-ups. So I did 10, then I did 20, and then I did 30. This morning, I did 40 push-ups in a row without stopping. And then I did another 200 push-ups on top of that. Every day I do 240 push-ups, and I measure it. I write it down in my journal that I did 240 push-ups. The form is not very good on the 200. The form was really good on the 40. Progress, always trying to make progress and move in a positive direction. Try to improve. If I want to have a better life, I have to raise my standards, okay? Raise my standards. What time I get up in the morning? What kind of food do I eat? What kind of relaxation do I get? What kind of exercise do I get? And what kind of books am I reading? One of the best books I've read in a long time is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the guy that started Nike. The book starts in his childhood, goes all the way through to where he's currently, and it talks about the setbacks he had and how he overcame the setbacks and how things just happened. The Nike swoosh and how that came about. It's an incredible book. I know I've read the book 2 times, and I've listened to the audio at least 3 times. I highly recommend Shoe Dog. If you're an entrepreneur, I would recommend you read that book. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, it's inspiring to read it. Most of you wear Nike clothing, and just to know where it comes from. So I want to encourage everybody to read. You know what can really be a great equalizer of the really rich people and the not so rich people, or even the poor people, is education. And we have so many ways to educate ourselves today. We don't have to go to a brick and mortar college in order to get an education that can really help us to be successful. We can watch YouTube videos by qualified people. Right now I'm reading a book called Whole Foods Diet, The Whole Foods Diet by John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods. And when I first started reading the book, it kind of dragged a little bit. There was a lot of redundancy in the first couple of chapters, but now I'm about 150 pages into it and really getting some great momentum. And the foods, I'm starting to make some adjustments on the foods that I eat, and my energy level is going up. So I'm really benefiting from reading this book and then putting into practice what I'm learning. The more we read great information, the better our lives are, the better our relationships are, the better our health can be, the better our relationship with our Creator can be, the better our financial picture can be. You know, the law of compounding works so well, obviously, in financial. What are you investing in? What are you investing your surplus money into? Are you making investments in the stock market? Are you buying assets that appreciate in value? And when we read about stuff like that in books, it inspires us and it motivates us. The great equalizer is education. The easiest way for us to get great education is to read. Share books with other people. I bring a book to a CEO meeting that I have every month, and I meet with anywhere from 10 to 15 other CEOs, and I bring them a book. I want to make a difference in their life. I want to make a difference in your life. Winners take action. Take massive action. Please like this video and share this video with other people. Thank you very much for watching.